All right, and we're live. Hey, good day, everybody. Welcome to expanding the conversation again with Richard and Kofi. I'm Kofi, of course, and that's Richard over there. We're so glad, as always, to be sitting and talking and sharing our views with the public. We're always encouraged. I really wanted to shout out all those folks who reached out to us and constantly encouraged us to continue to have our conversations and drop topics. And we really appreciate it, and we really appreciate the encouragement. There's a saying, "Don't become weary in well doing." We'd like to believe that we're doing something good by talking about things that are just regular conversations between two friends, and hope that people could benefit from that. Today we want to talk about the PPP, the pursuit of purpose and passion. And next week we'll probably talk about PNC, which would be purpose and commitment. I got you there, right? But
I like that.
yeah, but the pursuit of purpose and passion, and I bring this subject up because well, I've always been somebody who's sort of committed to the idea of purpose and passion. And anybody who knows me knows that I'm consumed with the idea of purpose and so forth. But I think you have to break that down, right? Because I think, Richard, when a lot of people hear purpose and they hear passion, right, they start to think this is something that they have to go figure out, and that something they have to go find, right? And many a person, right, will hit the grave still looking for their purpose, right, in life, and so on and so. Is there a way for us to have a conversation about what purpose is, what and how do we pursue it, and how purpose and passions align, right? And I know you personally, if I may put your business out there, have said this many times, even on this show. You have said, I don't know, what my purpose is sometimes, right? And I think that we've all been there because we keep asking ourselves, what is that thing we're supposed to do? There comes a point in life where we feel like there is something we're supposed to do. I don't know if it's the sense of finality of life, right? That this eventuality that we're not going to be here. We raise children, we work, and doing things without purpose always feels meaningless, right? At some point, we ask ourselves, why? Why am I doing what I do? And it's such a big part of who we are as people. That this question of purpose. You look around the world, you look in the environment. It seems like everything's got a purpose, right? And everything is doing something and is there for something. And oftentimes
Even the
we
mosquitoes. We
Yes,
don't really
exactly.
quite know what they do, but
Right, right. No, I know. But at least they serve us food to some animals, right?
there you go. That's right.
You
Then.
see,
Yeah.
here you go. So let's talk about that. What I don't know what people feel like. What is your purpose, and how do you define that, Rich? Like, what for you? What's this part of the struggle for you? Because I know you've talked about this. What is it for you?
I have. So maybe one of the things I don't say enough is that I grew up in church. I
Mm,
spent a lot of time in church, right? And I think initially when I think about purpose, and I think in a lot of ways in the religious context of how we use purpose, it's like this thing that God created us for specifically, right? This gift that we're supposed to bring to the world, and I don't know if that's true or not. um, but I also think that we long for purpose because to some degree, I think we believe that if we can find our purpose, then we can bring a certain level of energy to our lives that maybe we don't currently feel exists. And so we're in search of our purpose, right? We also think generally, at least this is what I thought for a long time, that when we find our purpose, um, we would toil and struggle less, and it would almost seem effortless, right? And we would have found our place, And we will wake up every day with a certain level of energy and excitement for life. And so purpose is good, right? I mean, if that's what we were going to find when we identified our purpose, then I think I sure sign me up. I want to be part of that too. But what I've learned is that um, purpose is kind of what you decide it is, and maybe an easier way to find purpose is to think about in your day-to-day life where you are purposeful, right? Where you serve a purpose, and your energy and effort is valued, right? In your environment, and maybe that in itself is a purpose, right? And I know we've talked about this before. And so if I wake up in the morning, and I have to walk the dog, I mean, I'm serving a purpose because he's depending on me to be able to go do his business, right? Is number one, and is number two. So great, right? I serve a purpose. If I get my kids ready for school, they're depending on me to get them ready, and so therefore I'm serving a purpose. And so my life may very well be purposeful in many different areas. I may not find the thing that I was made for or that I was destined to the the thing I was supposed to do on earth, or maybe I am doing it right, and maybe I can look at my life and think about um, what's the patterns, right? Like what am I sort of naturally gravitating to? What do I do more of? What do I get more excited about? And maybe identify that as a purpose. And so, but I think Kofi, the question of purpose and passion is a valid question, right? Like I think we have to. I think what we're longing for is to feel like our time here counts for something beyond ourselves. Um, you're on mute there, by the way.
Sorry, no, no, I was saying that's
Right.
important, but go on. Yeah.
Right. So I think that's what we're longing for. And what I'll say before I let you chime in here is seeking purpose is it's a privilege in the sense that, like, like I remember Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? And there's your physiological needs, your safety needs, your love and belonging. And then I think somewhere at the top there becomes purpose, right? So when I was younger, I felt like I didn't have money, so I went out and I got money. I didn't have an education, so I went out and I studied, right? And I wanted to have a sense of belonging, so I made friends. I created some kind of esteem about my life so that I could have a sense of belonging in the environment I live, right? But then beyond all that, I think is when we start to be like, okay, so I've done all these things, so what's my purpose, right? Because
Yeah.
but in all those things, you serve the purpose, right? I mean, I serve a purpose to my friends. I serve a purpose in the environment that I work in. I serve a purpose with my study buddies, right? We're cheering each other on, and so I don't know that you can divide those things to identify a singular purpose. But I think you can choose one if you wanted to.
Yeah. Yeah. I see what you're saying. I didn't grow up in church. As you know, my encounter came when I was a teenager. And I imagine when you're a teenager, the quest for what am I going to do with my life? I think every Guyanese teenagers ask this question in, right? CXE, for example. You got to make these decisions from the time you're 13 about what you're going to become.
Yeah.
And every teenager across the world, I imagine, right? People are always asking you, what are you going to do? What are you going to become? Because those are the formative years of your life. I did struggle with the idea of purpose too, because I think when you're raised or you grow up in a religious setting, like you said, of course, what you'd hear and you're taught is, of course, your purpose you can't find out outside of God, and that's fair, right? For those who believe that, that's fair, and I think within every religion, people are going to seek to find purpose there as well. But it isn't to say, I mean, there's a lot of people who aren't religious either, and they seem to be finding purpose in the world. Einstein, Bill Gates, and a lot of different people are serving some tremendous purpose in the world, right? So I think that purpose, kind of like how the scripture talks about the rain falls on the just and the unjust, I think this is something more universal, right, than those who are believers or non-believers, right? And I also believe that purpose is ever present, like you said before. I don't know that it is one specific thing. I think it is present in every situation and every circumstance that we find ourselves, um, regardless of who we are and where we are. I think what's important, though, for me, is I seek to define purpose by a standard, because I think, like you said, we have to reach beyond something that's greater than ourselves, right? And I think this is where the idea of God makes a difference, I think, for some people, because it is the ever-present highest ideal that you could, someone can strive to in that sense, because when you talk about exceedingly holy, exceedingly perfect, right? Exceedingly this, it's like the perfect standard, right? But I think even below that standard, we can create standards for ourselves. I was talking to a friend last night, and we both agreed if we weren't, if I didn't get a PhD, or if I didn't work for a big company, or if I didn't do certain things in my life, I don't know that my approach to life would change, right? If I were, doing dishes, and I do the dishes, I try to do the dishes as the best as I can, it doesn't matter what I put my hands to do. My sort of purpose in life is to do the best I can at what I do. And it doesn't matter what I do. So I try to define purpose not by what I do, but by who I am, and by setting a standard to achieve. And so I said to people, the question for me is not whether I'm an accountant, right, or an engineer, or whether I'm a doctor, or something else. It's not what I do; it's how I do it. In how I define my purpose, right? So when someone comes to you and say, "What is your purpose?" So my purpose is to do everything to the best of my ability, right? To maximize every opportunity, right, that is given to me. And I see Cindy is saying it perfectly here, that nothing is worth doing if it's not worth doing well. And I feel like there's so much purpose in that statement,
I can
that if
relate
you,
to her.
yeah, yeah, right. If you're gonna do something, the boulders are on top of it, man. If you're gonna do something, if you're gonna do something, just do it well. I think one of the things that I don't like is to see people show up to a job, or I'm gonna say job, not just like work, but do things half-heartedly. I mean, I don't think anybody likes that, right? Where everybody struggles with that, where you're disengaged, even you feel that sense of disconnection with things. But imagine if, as one of my friends the last said, man, if I was cleaning the toilet, I stand outside and waiting, and when somebody don't say, "Sir, you finished?" I go back in there and shine and clean it. You know what I mean? It's that to me is what like purpose and passion is, right? That's the mentality, because that's the mentality that goes from, like poverty to wealth, right? That's a wealth mentality. And I think that's the kind of mentality that we want to have. To me that's purpose, that's passion. It's not so much about I like doing this, but I like doing this way. These are the things that I like to achieve. This is when I go and do something, I want to do it with all my might, right? I want to do it with all my energy. When some people run, when some people exercise, they want to leave that gym like burnt, right? Like they've given it their all, right? And I think that sort of commitment to the passion and to the task at hand comes by setting a standard. And so you need to have a standard that you can ascribe to, that you can reach. And you don't always hit the standard. You and I talked about this when I was traveling the other day. It doesn't mean you're going to always hit the standard, right? But you still set the standard anyway, because that is the pursuit. It's the pursuit of something that is almost unattainable, right? But you pursue it nonetheless, right? Because it keeps the passion, and purpose alive. And I feel like that's part of what purpose is. It's not just finding something to do, but finding a standard and a discipline to live our lives by and to push towards, right? Something that we can push to,
Solid. I'm taking notes, my brother.
yeah. Yeah. So I don't know if the folks out there, this conversation can help. If you want to message and talk, but I feel strongly that your purpose is right next to you. It's not something that's distant, and you can
Yeah.
find it within every circumstance or situation that you find yourself. You know.
And,
Yeah.
and I mean, to add to that, right? As you described there and I understand that I think is great. But even if you wanted to choose something, right, whatever it was that you felt
Yeah.
like you could wake up and be excited and energized by every day, um, I think choose it, right? Write it down,
Hmm.
and try to wake up every day and think about how you're going to do that, right? I mean, I've met um, so many different people that have so many different perspectives on the role they want to play in the world and the environments they're in, right? I have a friend that just likes to have fun. So when they show up, they they want to
Yeah.
they want to create the environment where people are enjoying themselves. And I think that's great,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
And I know I said before that I wanted to inspire the world to be better, and so that's what I wake up and I try to do every day, right? As I'm
There you
adding my
are.
numbers up, I want to I want to inspire the world, and so you can pick something, right? If you feel like you've got too many things going on and you're not quite sure where you want to dedicate your energy, then pick something. Pick something and wake up every day and remind yourself what is it you want to do. And I think naturally you'll start to sort of um, gravitate and align with where you're going, right? And you'll
Yeah.
find things that will show up, that will present themselves for you to be able to do that thing, and you'll get better, right? And so um, I think once you do that, you'll naturally get to a point where you feel like you're more comfortable doing certain things, and therefore maybe you serve a better purpose because the idea of the passion adds energy, right? And so if I'm passionate
Absolutely.
about something, then I'm gonna go learn about it, right? Like I mean, I wouldn't have called myself a reader, 4 years ago, but today I'm a reader, right? And so, but I didn't just go out and read, um, the law books or quantum physics. I found something that I was interested in, right? I was interested
Yeah.
in personal development, and so now I'm a reader. I'll be reading for the rest of my life. I've got a reading list 100 plus books long, and so I'm not worried about that because I'm gonna acquire more and more information and knowledge, right? So pick something that you feel that you could be excited about if you feel like you're all over the place, and direct your energies towards it. And I think over time you'll start realizing that maybe you gravitate towards that thing because one, you're a little bit more knowledgeable, and you can speak about it, and then you start living it a little bit in your life.
You're cultivating passion, man. That's what you've been doing.
Exactly,
Mm,
right. And you become a role
definitely be
model for that
cultivating.
thing, right? And so
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
if I want to inspire people, I've got to inspire myself every day, right? So
Exactly.
it
Exactly.
helps me as well, right? And so feel free to choose anything, right? Anything you want to choose, but be willing to cultivate passion, right?
Yeah.
As you said,
Exactly.
towards your
And to
purpose.
commit.
Yeah,
Right,
to
man.
do it. But
Well,
yeah, I'm gonna go find some standards though. I appreciate that. That's good advice there. But
this is a great conversation on the PPP, man. I can't wait till
yeah,
we talk about the PNC.
yeah,
It's purpose and commitment. So that's good. All right.
yeah.
Well, guys, thank you so much for being part of this conversation. Like I said, the pursuit of purpose and passion is something that we're all gonna run into. And my hope and wish for everybody is that you're able to find purpose, find passion in what you do, enjoy it. Just enjoy it, man. Enjoy life, um, and live out your purpose. All right.
So have a good
All right.
day, guys.
All right. You guys take it easy. Enjoy the weekend. Mhm. Bye.